Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Lizzie here at the Galactic Gumdrop channel, and today I wanted to talk about some anime that really get me into the Halloween spirit. Because of course it's October and Halloween is like literally 2 weeks away. I don't know why I was so delayed thinking about this, but like the other day I was like, I saw like an ad for like Helsing and I was like, oh yeah, Helsing's such a great anime. I was like, it's so spooky. It's like perfect how, and I was like, whoa, I should make an anime like Halloween list. Why didn't I think about this? So yeah, these are some anime that I like to watch that just kind of make me think of Halloween, that, you know, get me into the Halloween spirit, that, you know, maybe you should check out if you haven't, or just a reminder that these like anime exist, because some of them are older. So yeah, I just want to jump right into it with like the most Halloween anime I think that there is in existence, and that would be Soul Eater. I mean, just everything about this anime screams Halloween. You got your witches, your pumpkins, your shinigami. You got just like creepy spider. Well, she's a witch. The creepy mummies. You got mummies. Like, so all kinds of monsters. You've got like just, I don't know. There's like the witch has like pumpkins and shit. The one in the beginning, she's like a cat witch too. Like all the Halloween things. It's like Halloween everything, and it's like. It's a very good show. It basically takes place in a universe where these kids go to this school and they are training to be like witch hunters, essentially. Like they hunt down witches and like the souls of monsters. Well, it's not just witches. Yeah, it's like they're like demon hunters or like monster hunters, or they're basically like training to be shinigami. So they partner with a weapon, and their weapon is like a person that could transform into a weapon. So like the main character is Maka, and her weapon, his name is Soul, and he transforms into a scythe. So she's a scythe wielder, and they go and they kill monsters, and he eats their souls to get stronger. And like it's this whole thing with the bonds between the weapons and their users. And then, you know, there's just like a colorful cast of characters. Oh yeah, there's Frankenstein too, basically. Well, okay, not Frankenstein. He's like a crazy doctor that looks like Frankenstein. I don't know. He's crazy, man. Just the characters in the show though are they're pretty fun. And just, you know, the adventures that they go on, and then the overarching plot to the show is very intriguing. I was kind of sad when it ended. I was like, what? It's over? I want more. I haven't gone and checked out like manga or like wherever it was inspired from to see if they continue on the story, but you know, it kind of leaves you wanting more at the end. But still, besides the point, it's a very Halloween-y show. It does like have a little bit of like gore and killing, and obviously, but it's not like over the top, and like the creepy stuff is creepy, but it's not over the top. So I think it's like a very like well-balanced show that like really anybody could watch and just get a nice like enjoyment factor out of it. So that would be the first anime that I'd recommend, and I'm not doing these in any specific order either. Also, the opening is pretty bomb too. So when you think of Halloween, you also probably think of maybe like monsters, like vampires. Vampires are a very popular Halloween thing, and there are some vampire anime out there. The first one I'm going to recommend is Rosario Vampire. This is an anime that has your ecchi, your fan service, very fan servicey. Lots of boobs and butts, very cute girls. It's a harem, but it's also got like monsters and obviously vampires and cool action and just stuff like that. So, but it's very fun as well. Of course, it's a harem anime. The main character is Sune. He's this human that gets transported into like the demon world or the monster world by accident. He was supposed to be enrolled in like a normal school, but he accidentally got enrolled in a monster school, a school for monster children. So it's like a high school, of course. And there, you know, he's slow to realize that he is like the only human. And he first runs into this girl, this really cute pink-haired girl. Runs into this really cute girl with pink hair, Mocha, and on his way there, and he's like, oh my god, I've met the love of my life already, and I haven't even started my first day of high school. This is great. And then later, you know, you find out that she is a vampire. Well, you find out pretty quickly. Like, you know she's a vampire, but like he's stupid. Anyway, she's a vampire, and then all of the girls in his harem are also different kinds of monsters. You got your succubus, you got a couple witches, you got the ice chick. I don't know what she's supposed to represent, but it's some type of ice apparition. She is like my favorite just because of how awkward she is. Yeah, so you get all those, and then of course the other classmates are different kinds of monsters like werewolves and shit. So very, very cool. Just a very funny anime. Again, lots of fan service harem. You can't go wrong with that. So if that's more up your alley, I would recommend that one. It's a little less gory, still has some action in it, but definitely ups on the fan service a lot. The second vampire anime that I would want to recommend would be, as I mentioned, Helsing, or Helsing Ultimate. So there are two versions of the show Helsing, which is similar to like Full Metal Alchemist. If you're familiar with that anime, there's the regular and the Brotherhood, and obviously the Brotherhood is the better of the two. I have seen both Helsing and Helsing Ultimate. I will say I thought they were both fine. I think Helsing Ultimate is better overall, but they do have different stuff in each of those versions, so you could definitely check them both out. But if you wanted to start with Helsing Ultimate, you're not gonna like be missing out on the plot or anything, because they kind of like starts you from the beginning. The plot of Helsing is there is this kind of like mafia, I want to say, or like family that was in power, and the current family member that's in power, Integra, she has a vampire that works for her. That family has, the Helsing family has like a vampire that is kind of contracted to them, I suppose, or like she has a vampire that is contracted to her. His name is Alucard, and he's like a very, very strong vampire. And the first episode, this Sarah's Victorious, she's this policewoman. She like happens to get wounded badly in an incident where she is actually fighting vampire. Like there's a rogue vampire that's going around killing people, and she is the part of the police force. She like goes to try to stop him, gets badly wounded, and is going to die. And Alucard ends up being there, and he gives her the option. He says, you can either die, or I could, he doesn't say that, but he says, do you want to live? She says yes. So then he turns her into a vampire. That would be the only way she would survive that. So she is learning how to be a vampire, and he is her master. Technically, that's how their vampire hierarchy goes. If you've watched anything vampire-y, it's all about that. This show, while it does have some comedic elements, is definitely more gory out of most of the ones I've mentioned so far. All the ones I've mentioned so far. It is probably the goriest. It has a lot of weird, psychological, weird stuff. It's got a lot of weird characters with weird, quirky personalities. I mean, Saris is just kind of, she's got a lot of plot, so it's fan servicey, but she's also like got a great, like, cute personality in the midst of this all. And then of course Alucard's like awesome. So it's a very interesting show. I would recommend watching it even if it doesn't happen to fall around Halloween time. It's a fantastic show. And again, you could watch either Helsing Ultimate or the original Helsing, but I do think Ultimate is better. Just kind of like Brotherhood's better. Don't know why they keep fucking that up, right? So this next anime that I would recommend is actually a movie, and it's Akira. So it's a classical. Akira is a movie that is considered like a classic in the anime community. If you're not familiar, if you haven't seen it, recommend watching it as it being a classic for a reason, because it's good. It doesn't really scream like Halloween like right off the bat or anything like that, but because of its overarching like tone of the show and kind of what happens, like it would be like I don't know, it kind of gives me a little like psychological like ooh. Akira is about world where like there are espers, like really strong espers. It's been a little bit since I saw the movie, but if I'm right, they were kind of like genetically maybe modified. And one of them was just so strong and powerful, he just ended up like destroying the city of Tokyo, I think. And then, you know, if post that, there's like a place where they contain espers, and they like, I don't know if they necessarily necessarily experiment on them, but they like, you know, keep them. They don't want to like repeat what had happened before. Well, one of the espers like gets out and he meets this kid, Tetsuo. He's like our main character, and ends up with the incident that they're in. He awakens Tetsuo's like psychic powers, and just he starts to go through this this character transformation after getting his psychic powers that causes a lot of shit to happen. And you know, it's kind of creepy. It's definitely older. The original is from like 1988, so it's like older style, but I just think, and I like, it's been a while since I saw the movie, but the scenes that are burned into my mind that like, they kind of give me just like a little bit of the heebie-jeebies, and I think that Halloween is the perfect time for that. So if you haven't seen Akira, I would check it out. The next item on my list would be another ecchi anime, but also very actiony. It was very popular when it came out, and that's High School of the Dead, and it's a zombie one, so you gotta get your zombie apocalypse stuff in there, right? This is about some high schoolers that a zombie apocalypse hits, and they're at school, and then they're like, oh fuck, there's zombies everywhere all of a sudden. What the hell, when did this happen? And they end up just turning into badasses, and they, you know, fight their way out of the school, and they're all hot as shit. And it's just all this great action and all this great fan service all wrapped into one little nice package for you. So that is a very, very good. It's kind of gory. I mean, zombies, and they kill the zombies, and that's, you know, the zombies kill people, so it's like, that's all fun and games, but it's also just a nice balance between fan service and gore. So if you like that, I would definitely check that out. The last one on my list is kind of to round everything out. We want to be a well-rounded, cultured anime fan. And the last one would be Ghost Stories. This one, if you haven't heard of this one, you have to watch it dubbed, don't watch it subbed. It sucked sub, it did poorly in Japan. So what they did was they let the English voice actors do whatever the hell they wanted as long as they stuck with the plot. And they basically made the first canon abridged series. It is freaking hilarious. And I mean, you get the Halloween elements of there being like ghosts and demons and shit, but you also get the top tier comedy that only like any comedy show could dream of, basically. The voice actors just jive so well. They just kind of bounce off whatever the hell anybody else says in the show. The actual plot is like they're middle schoolers, I think, and they get kind of wrapped into this whole thing where there's like this, where they're like able to see ghosts, and they have to figure out how to get rid of the ghosts or capture the ghosts. I don't know, something around that, the ghosts and the demons. And it's just, I don't know, like, you don't really even care about the overarching plot. You just care what the fuck these characters are saying, because, I mean, their shit, it's hilarious. It's hilarious. So this was my video on some anime to get you into the Halloween spooky spirit as it's about to come up around the corner. So definitely like this video and subscribe to my channel to support for more content like this, as well as you can comment down below if you have any other anime you would like to add into this list. I know there's tons out there that I've left out. I've mostly kept it to anime that I have seen and that I liked, that I've seen that I think would fall into this category. But if there's others you want to splash down in the comments below, feel free to. You can follow me over on my Twitter. I've been really active on there now, and that link is down below as well. So thanks so much for watching, and have a great rest of your night.